Ross, it's always good to see you. And I want to jump right in here. I know we've talked about space as the next frontier, the next battlefield. What do you make of this move to have some members of our National Guard joining Space Force, especially as we were just talking about recently, Russia and China proving they are capable potentially of shooting down some American satellites?
Good evening, Natasha. Yes, look, the simple fact is Space Force has a communications problem, not just with the Congress, clearly, but also with people wanting to enlist and be part of the Corps. And part of the problem is it's surrounded, it's swathed in so much secrecy about what it does. But I think if people understood just what Space Force's new role is as a sixth service of the military, I think they'd be wanting to help. Because Space Force, if we can't win a war in space, if we can't defend our satellite assets and all our other assets in space, we might as well not even try to win a war on the ground. Essentially, the whole military these days, our entire defence, national security, is plugged into satellite assets that we're now only just now beginning to realise are incredibly vulnerable. As we talked about previously, we're looking at increasing likelihood that the Russians and Chinese are at least developing strategizing the use of nuclear weapons in space, which would be disastrous for not only communications, navigation, but also for the systems we're using at the moment, the internet and every other type of communication system we have on the planet.
Do you think that the secrecy of Space Force could make the selection and training of National Guard members difficult?
I think what Space Force needs to do is communicate more clearly why its role is so integral. It's not a throwaway arm of the armed services. This is an integral arm of the armed services. There are people I work with here in Australia who are members of the Australian military who are feeding in the monitoring of space debris from Australian facilities linked into the National Air and Space Intelligence Centre in the United States. And that monitoring of space debris is all the more important because previously there have been satellites exploded in orbit in tests to see how anti-satellite weapons can be so effective. So we know that our potential adversaries are looking at using this kind of weaponry, and we know that we just have to be ready for it. And I know it's an unpopular decision for congressmen and senators to have their National Guards being taken away from them, but if I was the Biden White House, I'd be doing the same.
You know, I do want to switch topics quickly with the time we have left. Our partners at thehill.com wrote a piece, an op-ed piece, pointing out that former astronaut John Glenn, former Vietnam vet, powerhouse politician John McCain, Senator Marco Rubio all have something in common, and that is support for more UFO transparency as lawmakers. We spoke with the author of that piece just last night on the show. I want to get your reaction to something he said. Let's take a quick listen.
There were dozens and dozens of highly credible sightings by multiple witnesses, by pilots, scientists, so on and so forth, that the government just slapped these absolutely absurd explanations on. The swamp gas example in the 1960s is a famous one, but there are countless other examples of this.
What do you make of claims of an ultra-secret UFO retrieval program? Based on your knowledge, is the Pentagon covering something like this up?
Well, Natasha, as you know, we went public on NewsNation almost a year ago exactly with David Grush, a former very senior intelligence officer who has made allegations that remain unchallenged by the Pentagon that there is indeed a secret UFO retrieval program and reverse engineering program. And in fact, we've had strong hints from political leaders in the Congress, senior senators, senior chairs of key committees, admitting that they have been briefed into information that suggests that the Congress has been withheld information from the Pentagon and from the intelligence community about the existence of such a program. We can't be definitive because none of us have seen this evidence, this technology, but I have a strong, higher than likely suspicion that it's true. And I thought the interview you did with Marek was very important because what it did was it summarised the preponderance of evidence to show that there's a trail of crumbs that lead all the way to key individuals in the Pentagon who, frankly, really do have some explaining to do.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.